In times of solitude, when feelings of rejection or loneliness linger, it can be difficult to maintain hope. For many individuals identified as chosen ones, those who feel deeply connected to a higher spiritual purpose, this period of waiting often includes a longing for genuine companionship. Today, a shift is emerging that speaks directly to this experience. A new chapter of connection is approaching, marked not by temporary emotions, but by a deeper spiritual bond aligned with divine timing. For years, many chosen ones have endured emotional isolation, whether through failed relationships, betrayal, or life transitions such as divorce. The pursuit of meaningful love may have felt elusive. These experiences, while painful, were not meaningless. They served as preparation. They cultivated inner resilience, clarity, and spiritual maturity. According to this perspective, what lies ahead is not merely romance, it is a union grounded in mutual respect, emotional depth, and divine orchestration. Rather than a random occurrence, this transformation is seen as part of a larger plan. The loneliness, setbacks, and waiting have all been leading toward a turning point. Now, that moment has arrived. This transition, long anticipated, is not about reliving the past, but stepping into a future marked by emotional restoration and purposeful companionship. The concept of divine timing is central to this narrative. While human expectations often push for immediate solutions, spiritual growth requires patience. From a faith-based standpoint, the belief is that every delay has a reason, and each unanswered prayer contributes to a more fulfilling outcome. The arrival of a life partner at this juncture is therefore not coincidental. It is regarded as part of a larger intentional design. This partner, or soulmate, is not characterized by surface-level attraction or convenience. Rather, this is someone spiritually aligned, emotionally stable, and capable of recognizing the value in another person beyond appearances or social metrics. The connection is defined by shared purpose, mutual support, and a profound sense of understanding. Individuals who have gone through difficult breakups or divorces may find reassurance in this message. The end of a past relationship is reframed, not as failure, but as preparation for something better suited to the current season of life. Emotional pain and separation are acknowledged not as endings, but as necessary shifts, making room for new, more authentic connections. It is also emphasized that this forthcoming relationship will not depend on conventional ideals such as age, appearance, or financial status. Instead, it centers on character, integrity, and spiritual harmony. This perspective removes many of the pressures associated with modern relationship expectations and instead highlights inner readiness, particularly for those who have endured long periods without emotional support. The idea of being truly seen and understood is compelling. This future partner is described not only as a companion, but also as someone who understands emotional nuance, listens with empathy, and provides a safe environment for growth. The message also addresses those still navigating their healing journey. The scars from past relationships are not downplayed. Rather, they are acknowledged as part of a longer arc of personal transformation. In this view, the capacity to receive and give love deepens through struggle and self-reflection. Additionally, younger individuals or those newly exploring their spiritual identity are reminded that their desire for connection is valid and recognized. While society may encourage settling or rushing into partnerships, this guidance urges patience and self-worth. According to this narrative, the right connection will arrive when both individuals are aligned not just emotionally, but spiritually. Distinct point is made that not everyone from the past was meant to remain in one's life long-term. People who could not match one's emotional depth or spiritual calling were part of a learning phase. The role they played was significant but temporary, making space for relationships that will have lasting impact. The message concludes with a reminder: one's readiness to receive such a relationship is just as important as the timing of its arrival. It is not about forcing outcomes, but about being in a mental and emotional space to recognize and honor true connection when it appears. This new season is characterized by hope, but not the passive kind. It is an active hope grounded in personal growth, clarity, and discernment. The chosen ones are not merely waiting, they are preparing. And now, as the preparation phase reaches maturity, they are being invited into a deeper, more meaningful chapter. The transition may be subtle, or it may come through a distinct meeting or opportunity. Either way, the change is underway. For those who have waited with patience and continued their inner work, a new beginning is close at hand, one that aligns not just with emotional desire, but with divine purpose. As the transition into a new season of life begins for many chosen individuals, a key theme continues to emerge: preparedness. Being ready to receive love and connection is not only about openness, but also about discernment. When people carry unresolved pain or continue to seek validation in temporary relationships, it can block their ability to recognize genuine connection when it finally arrives. This next phase involves the ability to distinguish between relationships that feel familiar but are rooted in past patterns and those that are truly new, characterized by mutual growth, spiritual depth, and enduring support. In this context, self-awareness becomes essential. One must identify emotional cycles that previously led to disappointment and actively choose a different response. The love being described here is not reactive or dependent on surface compatibility. It is reflective. It grows from shared understanding and consistent, respectful communication. It offers emotional safety rather than anxiety, and most importantly, it aligns with personal and spiritual development. In many ways, the preparation was never about waiting for someone else. It was about becoming the kind of person who can recognize and sustain a love of this depth. This distinction is particularly important for those who have experienced betrayal or emotional abandonment. Such experiences often lead to hypervigilance or withdrawal. It's natural to be cautious, but according to this framework, true healing includes learning to trust again. Not naively, but wisely. The partner who is being sent is not perfect, but they are emotionally honest, dependable, and spiritually aligned. Another point often misunderstood in discussions about divine partnerships is the idea of purpose. This love is not intended to complete someone, but to complement them. Each individual brings their full self into the relationship. Together, they enhance each other's lives, supporting mutual growth rather than becoming dependent or losing individual identity. This relationship is described as a partnership rooted in shared values and long-term goals. It supports spiritual missions, personal development, and the formation of a stable emotional environment. The connection is not fleeting or driven by circumstance. It is purposeful and enduring. For the chosen ones, it serves not just the heart, but the broader calling on their life. Additionally, the importance of spiritual compatibility cannot be overstated. Many people connect on emotional or intellectual levels, but when spiritual alignment is absent, discord can follow. The connection being described here is one that reinforces, not undermines, one's relationship with God and their pursuit of truth. It encourages personal integrity and growth in faith. Trust remains a central component. After seasons of disappointment, trust can take time to rebuild. But the hallmark of this new relationship will be consistency. Words and actions will align. The chosen ones will no longer need to guess where they stand, nor compromise their values for affection. This stability is not just a bonus. It is evidence of divine timing. Another aspect worth addressing is the role of timing itself. While it may have felt like a delay, the process of waiting was actually part of the divine preparation. Had the connection arrived earlier, one or both individuals may not have been ready to sustain it. There is a difference between meeting someone at the right time and simply meeting someone who feels right. Timing shapes the context of the relationship, and in this case, it is now aligning with precision. Some may question whether they are truly ready to receive such a partnership. That question itself reflects humility, and that's a good starting point. Readiness does not mean perfection. Rather, it involves self-awareness, the willingness to grow, and the capacity to support another without losing oneself. These qualities are cultivated through the very seasons that once felt empty or painful. From a broader perspective, the arrival of this relationship also represents a shift in how chosen ones view themselves. They no longer seek love from a place of lack, but from a place of wholeness. They are not hoping someone will fix what is broken. They have already begun to repair it themselves with divine support. The person entering their life is not a rescuer, but a partner. It is important to note that not all relationships will look the same. For some, this new connection may lead to marriage. For others, it might be the beginning of a long-term partnership built slowly over time. What unites these experiences is the underlying quality: emotional sincerity, spiritual alignment, and mutual respect. These are the signs of divine orchestration, not external displays or rushed timelines. Also worth highlighting is that some people may reappear from the past during this period of transition. While reconciliation is possible in some cases, discernment is key. Not every familiar face represents a new opportunity. Some are reminders of lessons learned and boundaries now in place. The chosen ones are called to recognize the difference between revisiting an old cycle and opening a door to a new path. Moreover, divine partnerships are not devoid of challenges. Conflict may still arise. Disagreements are natural in any relationship. However, what distinguishes these relationships is how both individuals navigate those moments. Instead of avoidance or escalation, they engage with empathy, communicate clearly, and remain committed to resolution. This is part of what makes the connection sustainable. There is also an element of shared purpose in this connection. While individual goals remain important, there is a unifying mission. Whether that's raising a family, building a community, or pursuing shared spiritual growth, both individuals contribute to something greater than themselves. This shared purpose gives the relationship direction, clarity, and long-term vision. As chosen ones begin to step into this new chapter, they are reminded not to idolize the relationship itself, but to remain grounded in their own journey. The person entering their life is not the destination. They are a fellow traveler. The work of healing, growing, and listening to divine guidance continues. But now, it does so with mutual support. Finally, this message concludes with a note of reassurance. No matter how long the journey has been or how painful the path once was, the season of emotional isolation is ending. A new phase marked by connection, stability, and deep love is beginning. For the chosen ones who have remained faithful, resilient, and open-hearted, the time has arrived. It is not about forcing an outcome or rushing ahead. It is about staying present, listening closely to divine direction, and allowing this connection to unfold naturally. When it arrives, there will be peace, not confusion. There will be clarity, not chaos.